Southcentral Alaska experienced its first major snowfall of the season on November 6th and 7th, 2025, leading to significant disruption across the region. The storm set a new daily record for snowfall in Anchorage and prompted urgent warnings from local authorities and weather officials about hazardous driving conditions and the potential for avalanches in surrounding mountainous areas. Alaska's largest city, Anchorage, was brought to a near standstill by the heavy, wet snow that began falling heavily on Thursday afternoon, November 6th, and continued into the early hours of Friday morning, November 7th.
Wonderland.
The National Weather Service office at Sand Lake recorded 6.8 inches of snow on November 6th alone, setting a new daily record for that date. This surpassed the previous record of 6.1 inches set in 2011. By 9 a.m. on November 7th, the total accumulation from the storm had reached approximately 8 inches in the official measurement areas, with meteorologists estimating that parts of the hillside neighborhood received even more significant amounts, potentially exceeding 8 inches. The snowfall on Thursday was the most significant single-day snow event the city had seen since Halloween 2024. The slick conditions immediately impacted transportation infrastructure. The Alaska State Troopers and Anchorage Police Department reported dozens of vehicle incidents across the region. On Thursday, 25 accidents without injury and 13 with injury were reported in Anchorage. An additional 41 vehicles in distress were logged by authorities. The mayhem forced the closure of sections of the Glen Highway, a major commuter route between Anchorage and the Mat-Su Valley, for several hours due to multiple crashes. The Anchorage School District opted to keep schools open on Friday, November 7th, but canceled bus services for Girdwood K-8 schools due to the hazardous conditions. Families were warned that buses in other areas would be delayed as drivers navigated the treacherous roads, and absences were excused for students unable to make it to school safely. Stevens Anchorage International Airport also experienced flight disruptions, primarily affecting passenger flights between Kodiak and Anchorage, as well as several cargo flights. In the mountainous areas surrounding south-central Alaska, including Tinigan Pass and Girdwood, the heavy snowfall triggered severe avalanche warnings. The Chugach Avalanche Center reported that over 10 to 20 inches of new snow had fallen in the 24 hours leading up to the morning of November 7th. Forecasters warned that natural and human-triggered avalanches 1 to 2 feet deep were highly likely. We recommend a conservative approach to avalanche terrain this weekend as the snowpack is untested with a storm of this size. The center advised in its morning forecast on Friday. The cold temperatures kept the snow line at sea level, exacerbating the risk in easily accessible areas. While South Central dealt with record snow, conditions varied elsewhere. In the interior region, including Fairbanks, the storm system brought ongoing snow showers with expected accumulations of 1 to 3 inches, a more typical November scenario. Meanwhile, communities on the western coast of Alaska were dealing with the ongoing aftermath of a severe typhoon that hit the region earlier in the month, causing extensive flooding and damage, an unrelated but concurrent weather crisis for the state. For South Central residents, the focus remains on recovery and cleanup, as city plowing crews work through the night to clear major roadways. Updates on snow removal progress can be tracked via the city's new GPS-enabled online maps.
Everywhere.
While Anchorage dealt with record snowfall in the city center, the area surrounding Valdez, specifically the critical transport corridor of Thompson Pass, faced severe winter storm conditions on November 6th and 7th, 2025. The National Weather Service issued urgent warnings for hazardous travel conditions, with the pass expected to receive substantial snowfall accompanied by high winds. Thompson Pass, known as one of the snowiest locations in North America, was hit hard by the storm system rotating in the Gulf of Alaska. A winter weather advisory and blizzard warning were in effect for the pass and surrounding areas, including the communities of Portage and Whittier. Up to 9 inches of snow was forecasted for Thompson Pass from Wednesday night through Thursday evening, November 6th, with the potential for higher accumulations in specific microclimates. Wind conditions. Strong winds were a major factor, expected to reach speeds of up to 40 miles per hour. The combination of heavy snow and wind created treacherous conditions, reducing visibility to as little as half a mile or less, making travel extremely hazardous. Authorities urged residents and travelers to avoid unnecessary travel, as icy and slippery surfaces increased the risk of accidents and injuries. The conditions made the commute through the pass difficult, especially during the peak evening and morning hours. Unlike Anchorage, where school districts sometimes close, Valdez conditions are typically more severe, and residents are accustomed to heavy snowfall. The Chugach Avalanche Center also noted that the new, heavy snow on an untested snowpack created a high risk of avalanches in the backcountry areas around the central Chugach Mountains. In the city of Valdez itself, which sits at sea level, the precipitation was a mix of rain and snow. While the mountains around the city were blanketed in white, the immediate harbor area experienced varied conditions. Weather forecasts for Friday, November 7th, in Valdez City called for a chance of rain and snow, with mostly cloudy skies and a high near 38 degrees Fahrenheit. The storm system was expected to continue spinning moisture over the North Gulf Coast through Friday, with light snow showers expected over the weekend as the system tapered off. Residents were advised to stay tuned to local radio, KVAK 93.3 FM or KCHU 770 AM, for real-time updates, as local weather reports are often notoriously localized and can vary significantly between the pass, the sound, and the city itself. Snow began falling across the Matsu borough on Thursday afternoon, November 6th. Accumulation totals varied significantly depending on location within the vast valley. Initial reports gathered on Friday morning, November 7th, indicated Palmer and Wasilla, approximately 2.5 inches of snow were reported in the main population centers. Big Lake, residents reported higher amounts, around 6 inches of accumulation. Sutton received only about 0.5 inches of snow. Meteorologists noted that the system brought lower amounts of snow to the Matsu compared to the Anchorage Bowl, where a record-setting 8 inches fell, and the Kenai Peninsula, where some areas saw up to a foot. The snow was described as wet and heavy, making shoveling a strenuous first chore of the winter season. The most immediate and severe impact of the storm in the Matsu Valley was on the Glen Highway, the main artery connecting the valley to Anchorage. The new snow created treacherous, slick conditions during Thursday afternoon's rush hour, leading to numerous accidents and multi-vehicle crashes. Multiple incidents forced the closure of both northbound and southbound lanes of the Glen Highway near the Eklutna exit for several hours on Thursday. The disruption caused massive backups and left thousands of commuters stranded or severely delayed. The Alaska State Troopers and local police were busy responding to dozens of slide-offs and distress calls throughout the afternoon and evening.
Okay, guys.
By Friday morning, November 7th, road conditions remained challenging, although major closures were avoided as city and borough plow crews worked through the night. Drivers were urged to exercise extreme caution, maintain distance from other vehicles, and be mindful of pedestrians as visibility was reduced. The Matanuska-Susitna borough's snow removal contractors were dispatched as soon as the snow started accumulating. Borough regulations typically require plows to respond to residential streets once snow accumulation reaches 4 inches. This event marked the first major test for the borough's new GPS-enabled online tracking system for snowplows, allowing residents to monitor where crews were working. Officials noted that while some initial tracking issues occurred with one contractor, the system was expected to be fully operational moving forward as crews continued cleanup efforts throughout the day on Friday. For residents of the Matsu Valley, the snowfall served as a timely reminder that the Alaskan winter had officially arrived, bringing with it a fresh set of seasonal challenges. The major storm system that brought chaos to Anchorage largely bypassed the interior, resulting in manageable snow accumulations but a noticeable drop in temperature. The main story for Fairbanks was not the amount of snow, but the return of the bitter cold. The region is known for its extreme temperatures, and November 7th was no exception, with temperatures falling well below freezing. Daytime high. The high temperature on November 7th struggled to reach 19 degrees Fahrenheit minus 7 degrees Celsius. Nighttime low. Overnight lows dropped to around 12 degrees Fahrenheit minus 11 degrees Celsius, with feels like temperatures significantly lower due to wind chill. Seasonal norms. These temperatures are typical for November in Fairbanks, where daily low temperatures average around minus 8 degrees Fahrenheit. The dry climate meant the snow was light and powdery, in contrast to the heavy, wet snow that caused power outages and tree damage in Southcentral. Unlike the traffic mayhem seen on the Glen Highway near Anchorage, Fairbanks experienced minimal travel disruption. Residents in the interior are well-versed in navigating winter conditions. Authorities reminded drivers to continue exercising standard winter precautions, such as having emergency kits prepared and adjusting driving speeds. For the Fairbanks area, the event was a standard early-season snowfall, merely signaling the onset of the long, cold interior winter.
Yes, it does.
Light snow is likely to return, with total expected to be around 1 to 4 inches in Fairbanks. The NWS had noted earlier in the week a forecast that proved accurate as the region hunkered down for colder days ahead. The immediate and most visible impact of the storm was the chaos on the roads. The heavy, wet snow that began falling during Thursday afternoon's rush hour caught many drivers off guard, leading to treacherous, slick conditions. Anchorage Police Department and Alaska State Troopers reported a surge in incidents. On Thursday alone, November 6th, authorities recorded 38 vehicle accidents, 13 of which involved injuries. An additional 41 vehicles in distress were logged by authorities. By Friday morning, November 7th, another 4 non-injury crashes and 8 vehicles in distress had already occurred. The mayhem forced the closure of sections of the Glen Highway, a vital commuter route connecting Anchorage and the Mat-Su Valley, for several hours due to multiple crashes. This caused massive traffic backups and significant delays for thousands of commuters. The Anchorage School District canceled bus services for Girdwood K-8 schools on Friday and warned of widespread delays for other routes. The district, however, excused absences for students unable to travel safely to school. The financial impact, while hard to quantify immediately, includes various operational costs and potential losses. The municipality of Anchorage activated its snow removal plan. Plowing major roadways overnight comes with significant costs. Based on average contract rates for the area, citywide plowing operations for an event of this size can run into hundreds of thousands of dollars. The city continues to grapple with budgeting for these events, often adding emergency funds when snowfall is heavy. The timing of the storm during peak commuting hours likely led to reduced productivity and temporary business interruptions as employees faced delays or were unable to reach their workplaces. Residents faced increased costs for private snow removal, averaging $75 to $125 per visit for a standard driveway, and potentially higher insurance premiums or repair costs following vehicle accidents. The NWS confirmed that the 6.8 inches of snow recorded on November 6th set a new daily record, highlighting the intensity of this early season event and the immediate strain it placed on the city's infrastructure and emergency services.